It's a hot, sweltering evening on July 13th, 2024, in Butler, Pennsylvania. Former President Donald Trump is speaking at a rally.
We're going to have the greatest election. I tell you what, we did fantastically in 2016.
Just days before he plans to accept the official Republican nomination.
Hereby declaring him the Republican nominee for President of the United States of America.
Thousands of supporters have gathered. But what happens next will be remembered as one of the biggest Secret Service failure of this century. Today I'll break down 1. Who was the shooter and his life leading up to the shooting? 2. Every detail about the shooting unfolded so far. 3. Most importantly, how Secret Service failed at one and only job they had. 4. Some very important yet unanswered questions. So, let's begin with the shooter, Thomas Crooks. Thomas Matthew Crooks, born on September 20th, 2003, was raised in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. A quiet young man from a middle-class neighborhood, both his parents were licensed professional counselors. Crooks excelled academically,
Signal is decreasing.
joining the National Technical Honor Society and graduating with high honors from Bethel Park High School.
Thomas Crooks.
He won a $500 Star Award from the National Math and Science Initiative. Despite his achievements, Crooks was often bullied in school for his quiet demeanor, body odor, and for wearing camouflage hunting outfits and surgical masks.
Based on the way he dressed, I mean, you know how kids are nowadays. If you don't fit in with the clique, they're gonna come after you. And that's kind of like how he was. Like, he would sit by himself, play games on his computer.
He enjoyed playing chess and video games and was learning how to program computers. Crooks attended a computer technology program at the Steele Center for Career and Technical Education and earned an associate degree in engineering science from the Community College of Allegheny County. Now, at the time of shooting, Crooks worked as a dietary aide in a local nursing home and had been accepted into both the University of Pittsburgh and Robert Morris University, planning to attend the latter. He had no known criminal record or mental health problems and was a member of a local shooting club for at least a year. On July 12th, the day before the rally, Crooks went to a shooting range to practice firing, purchased over 50 rounds of ammunition, and a ladder. He requested the day off work on July 13th, telling co-workers he had something to do and promising to return the next day.
The New York Times reported that Crooks had actually asked his bosses at the nursing home where he worked to have Saturday, July 13th off because he told them he had something important to do.
On 13th, at the time of shooting, Crooks used an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle, legally purchased by his father.
It was legally purchased by his dad.
He also had a remote for a bomb that was placed in his vehicle that he may have planned to use as a distraction. The day of the attack. Crooks first raised suspicions around 3 p.m. that day when he passed through the security screening area with the rangefinder. At 5:06 p.m., an hour before Trump was set to take the stage, Crooks was seen pacing near the rally's security perimeter. As the rally began, security was tight. Attendees were scanned for weapons, and Secret Service snipers were positioned on rooftops behind the stage, constantly scanning for threats. Around 5:30 p.m., a picture was taken and shared among other officers by a local police counter-sniper officer who reported that Crooks was a suspicious person on the grounds outside Trump's rally. The sniper then went on foot to look for him, but by the time he reached there, the suspect had left the place. It was a questionable move by the sniper.
Yeah, the fact that that building wasn't secured to a point where someone could crawl on top of it, that makes no sense to me.
Why would he leave a vantage point from where he can clearly see the threat and guide local police officers about the position of the shooter? But nonetheless, the blunders didn't stop there.
Mistakes were made. They were monitoring this guy for an hour beforehand.
Yeah.
No one told you not to take the stage?
No, nobody mentioned it. Nobody said there was a problem.
At 6:09 p.m., witnesses spotted Crooks on a rooftop about 400 feet north of the stage, armed with an AR-15. Despite his conspicuous position, Crooks went unnoticed by the snipers, who were facing his direction but failed to act.
Who is most responsible for this happening?
What I would say is that the Secret Service is responsible for the protection of the former president.
It blows my mind how could the sniper miss him on a clear white roof with an AR pointing at the president. And it is not like there were hundreds of other buildings surrounding him. Let me further blow your mind. The Secret Service says that local police was responsible for securing that building. And the state police officer said that they were told by several Secret Service agents that ESU was responsible for securing this area.
To my knowledge, there were 2 posted there from Butler ESU.
And there were multiple security personnel in that specific building and also the buildings surrounding it. Although the Secret Service is yet to disclose the exact details of the officers, but this much has been disclosed so far. Tension was building around the stage. The crowd started to stir, noticing the armed man. Shouts of, "He has a gun!" echoed through the venue. But the response was slow. Local law enforcement was alerted and began to surround the building.
The officer grabbed hold of the edge of the building, pulled himself up to be able to look, and according to what he's told me, shooter turned, rifle was pointed at the officer. The officer, defensive move, kind of ducked, fell, lost his grip on the building.
Yet the sniper did not take the shot. At 6:11 p.m., Trump pivoted to his right, pointing at a chart showing border statistics. At that moment, Crooks opened fire.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
The first bullet pierced the upper part of Trump's right ear. Trump ducked behind the podium as Secret Service agents swarmed him, shielding his body. Crooks fired 5 more shots, hitting 3 audience members. One of them, 50-year-old Corey Comper, a firefighter and father, was fatally wounded while protecting his family.
Corey died a hero. Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday.
The chaos was captured on cameras and phones, painting a vivid picture of the terror that unfolded.
Political disagreements can never, ever be addressed through violence.
In a matter of seconds, the sniper team finally responded. Crooks was neutralized by a Secret Service sniper.
Shooters down!
But the question remains, how did this happen? How did a shooter get so close, fly a drone over the rally, and take his position without being stopped earlier? This incident isn't just a lapse in security. It's a monumental failure of intelligence and coordination, raising serious questions about our ability to protect high-profile figures.
I think that was a mistake. How did somebody get on that roof, and why wasn't he reported? Because people saw that he was on the roof. I mean, you had Trumpers screaming. The woman in the red shirt, she was screaming, "There's a man on the roof!" And then other people said, "There's a man on the roof who's got a gun."
Investigations and motives. The FBI found bomb-making materials in Crooks' vehicle and home prior to the shooting. Crooks had searched for images and public appearances of prominent figures, including Trump, Biden, and others. He also searched the internet for information on major depressive disorder and the Oxford High School shooting. His parents had reported him missing and expressed concern about his well-being before the shooting. Authorities have stated that Crooks' political views are unknown, and they have not determined whether his assassination attempt was politically motivated. Public records do not indicate his views, and no posts by Crooks on social media or writings indicating his ideology have been found. Despite his donation to a liberal voter turnout group in 2021, Crooks had been a registered Republican since September 2021.
He was registered as a Republican but had donated to a progressive cause. He didn't appear to have an allegiance to either political party, and it would later come to light that he had photos of former President Trump on his phone, but he also had photos of Joe Biden, House Speaker Mike Johnson, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, and even Attorney General Merrick Garland. It's also been reported that Crooks searched for the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention.
Some serious unanswered questions and major security lapses. Despite the tight security, how did Crooks manage to fly a drone over the rally site undetected? The drone should have raised immediate red flags, yet it went unnoticed, allowing Crooks to gather crucial information about the layout and security positions. Crooks' position on the rooftop was conspicuous. At 6:09 p.m., the sniper team faced his direction but failed to act. Why did the sniper not take the shot when the crowd started shouting about a man with a gun? Local law enforcement surrounded the building, but the sniper hesitated, allowing Crooks to fire at Trump. and why Trump was allowed to take the stage after local law enforcement had identified Crooks as suspicious, and why old photos of Thomas Matthew Crooks, taken when he was 15 years old, are being circulated instead of his current photos showing his long hair. The crowd's reaction was immediate. People noticed Crooks with the gun and shouted warnings.
He's on top of the roof. Don't go over there. He's on the roof, buddy.
However, the communication breakdown was evident. The response from security and law enforcement was slow, and the snipers did not engage the threat promptly. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, during House Oversight appearance on 23rd of July, in which she acknowledged that the Secret Service was told about a suspicious person 2 to 5 times before the shooting at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally, she also revealed that the roof from which Thomas Matthew Crooks opened fire had been identified as a potential vulnerability days before the rally.
Days before the rally, the Secret Service had identified the building as a vulnerability that required special attention.
This incident exposed several critical points of failure: the lack of drone surveillance, the slow response to the crowd's warnings, and the hesitation of the sniper, all contributed to the severity of the situation. The intelligence and coordination failures are glaring, raising serious questions about the efficacy of the security measures in place. How did the systems in place fail so spectacularly? This event will undoubtedly lead to intense scrutiny.
That is a no. You're full of shit today. You're just being completely dishonest.
And calls for major overhauls in how we protect our leaders. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to support my channel.